How's it going, Blazers? Working to bring you specifications you can relate to so you can have an educated decision on your purchases. This is one from drop.com. This is a drop Lynx. There's an Ochs Designed. And oddly enough, he's in Sherwood, Oregon, which is not too far from me. So that's kind of an interesting thing as well. So this one sold 404 units, and there's currently 357 requests for it. And then we'll see where that goes from here. But this one is made by Reate. So there's made by Reate for drop and an Ochs Designed. So those are all the little collaborations there. And hopefully that's coming through because this has like a nice whipping sound as far as the action goes. So that's one of the things. This is probably one of the most difficult knives that I've had to review. And I'll get into that a little bit later as well. But this one we're going to go through. So first off, hand sizing, if you're going to look at that. So basically for yourself, for a women's hand and a men's hand, we're going to go through. It's going to be upward position, so you can actually have it see where that's going to fit for you. This is going to be coming in at about 3.5 ounces. So that's 3.5 ounces for this one. So if you were lucky enough to get into the drop, I think it ended in July. So it was 150 for the G10 version, 250 for the Mokutai version, and then after that, it should be going up to 180 for the G10 and 280 for the Mokutai and carbon fiber. So that's going to be where you're going to be sitting if you're going to be kind of waiting for this knife to come along. And then for the action on it, this one is not the production one yet because they're not out yet. But this is going to be where it's going to be. So for most of the knives, about 2 to 3 pounds is what I feel is a good level for a knife to be at for a pull. So let's see where this one ends up. So basically 3 pounds, 6.8. So that varies a little bit from where you're going to be putting your finger and where you're going to be actually flipping it. So it's a little bit higher than that, but there's nothing that's on it that's really causing it any type of discomfort in using the knife. So the jimping on the tab isn't too harsh. And that's really a general guideline for it as far as 2 to 3 pounds. So this one's coming in a little bit higher than that 3 pound mark, at least I have for my channel for that. So this one also has light switch. Thumb deployment, so you do have the thumb studs on there as well. Thumb studs are a little bit sharp to the feel, so you do get used to that a little bit, but that might be something that you notice right off the bat. So there's thumb stud deployment. You can do the middle finger as well for the deployment on that. You can do a pinch and roll if you want to do a slower deployment, not to scare folks, as well as two-handed deployment if you want to, as far as opening it that way more traditionally. So the blade itself is a drop point, 2.98 inches. So that is to this point of the blade here. So if you actually measure it a little bit further back on the blade, that's going to give you a little bit over 3 inches for that. It is a hollow grind, so it goes across the blade. It does get a little bit thicker at the tip, but we'll get into that as far as what the behind edge thickness is as well. This is a 4mm blade stock. And it is crowned, so that is a very nice addition to that. So it adds a little bit more of a classic feel to it, kind of Sabenza, just a little bit higher end feel, at least what I feel for this one as far as a knife goes. So it just feels more complete. So that's something that's a really nice addition for this one. So as far as the behind the edge thickness for it, so down toward the belly, it's going to be about 15 thousandths. So about 4 sheets of paper. So if you grab a sheet of paper out of your printer, so about 4 sheets of that is going to be now what that is behind the edge. And then you're going to have basically towards the tip. So right at the tip is about 23 thousandths. And so that's really a nice level for it as far as a behind edge thickness. So it's going to be a really good slicer for it. It's a hollow grind up to that 4mm blade stock. So if you are going to cut through something that's really, really dense, then yeah, you're still going to have resistance because you are going up to a 4mm stock, and it's not a full flat grind or a hollow that goes all the way to the top. So you're still going to have resistance for that. But for the most types of materials that you're going to be cutting, it's going to cut right through it without any issues. So that's a really awesome thing for this one here. Blade steel, RWL 34. for this. So that's going to be about CPM 154, kind of powdered metallurgy type of blade steel. Corrosion resistance about 36 percentile. Edge retention about 56 percentile for that type of steel. And then for this one, this is a pass around knife as well. So thank you again to drop.com, formerly massdrop.com. So this one was a pass around knife, and it came out at a sharpness of 151. So that puts it about a utility razor blade, and this is after it went through everybody else on the list. So that's amazing for that. And then also it's sharpened basically to about 30 degrees inclusive, so 15 degrees per side as far as measured down by the belly here for this one here. So why was this the most difficult, or one of the most difficult knives for me to review? The reason for that is I didn't want to let it go. So that's one of the things for me. I really like this knife a lot. So that's where it goes back to that original number. So 404 sold, 357 requested. So I'm asking for some assistance to get more requests. So this one can be definitely available and produced at a higher number, because I think that's a very low number for this knife to be actually produced at, because it is, for me, near perfection for the knife. So the choils are really good, feel in hand. If you haven't experienced a Reate as far as the detent ramp, so it doesn't have a real harsh where it goes from the detent ball onto the blade, because it is ramped. And then it is probably about 20 degrees. So basically from disengagement to when it's on the blade, it's about 20 degrees, which is really good. So 20 degrees I feel is good. 30 degrees is not bad. 40 degrees, it's a bit out of the range as far as that deployment, as far as getting it onto the blade. But 20 degrees ramped, it's fantastic. And it's a gorgeous knife. So that's my issue with it. I feel it's that good. So if you want to help out with that, go over to drop.com, go and request this. It's going to not ship till probably about December 26th as far as the estimate date. So you're not going to get it by Christmas. You might get it by New Year's. But if you request it, then they'll know that more people are interested in this knife, and maybe I can get one. So thanks again for your time. Let me know in the comments down below as far as what you think, and thank you very much.